To answer that, it's best if I tell you just a short story. I started law school off of a desire to be true to myself. And going through law school, I wasn't like the other students who were there. I attended the University of Florida's law school as a mother with a very young child. I was serving in the Army Reserves, and I just wasn't your typical graduate from undergrad, go straight to law school person. I made a series of not so wise relationship and financial decisions that resulted in me taking the extended route through law school. And what that meant for me is that I was taking the bar exam in February, a year and a half after the law school classmates that I had entered into law school with. No worries. I took a legal externship that allowed me to get some practical legal experience, and it was on a part-time basis, very part-time. And with my child in daycare, I pretty much had the days to myself to study when I wasn't on military duty. And so I took the time, using my bar review the way that it was given to me, to study and garden and do everything that I felt was healthy, right? And my supervisor at the legal externship, she pointed out to me, she said, "Jennifer, you don't seem very concerned about this bar exam." And I said, "No, it's just a test. It's gonna be okay." And she said, "Well, don't you want to be one and done? Don't you want to hit the books hard?" And I didn't know where she had gotten this from. I mean, it's just a test. It'll be fine. I was studying. She said, "Okay." I went in to take my bar exam, and shockingly to me, I failed. I failed. I laugh now, but at that time it was no laughing matter. I was shocked because, quite frankly, I had never failed at anything before in my entire life. You're talking about the girl who started college at 15, who graduated early and started traveling the world because she was free and she could do so. And the person who got through law school, serving in the military, and raising a child, you know, and had come out of a divorce relatively unscathed. So for all of the things that I had battled and been victorious over and accomplished, I was shocked that this academic thing had floored me. Okay, I pulled myself together. I'll just take the portion of the bar exam that I failed. Everything will be okay, I said. And so I studied. I re-upped my game. I hit the books harder, especially since it was only one section that I had to concentrate on. And I went again. And I failed. Now, I'm confused, a little bit bewildered, not knowing what's really going on. Like, how could I fail one simple part of the test? Like, I had this. And I was sad. And now the thoughts started swirling through my head about how long is this really going to take, because I was pretty sure that I had done everything that I needed to do. So I started going through my head, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Where did I go wrong? And you know, the length of time between actually taking the bar and getting your results kind of makes it difficult to post-mortem your study season. But I tried anyway. Knowing now that I had to retake this test and realizing that at this point I was going to need to retake the entire thing, I decided to do something differently. It was one of those mornings that I was lying in bed listlessly trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life now that I had to get back into full-time employment, because quite frankly, bar study loans and people's extension of loving support had run out. And I was just trying to figure out my life. And I remember I was staying in my mom's home, and my mom said, "Hey, I was talking to an attorney that spoke at the church today, and she wanted me to give you this information. I told her that you failed the bar." Mom, how can you publish that I failed the bar? And she wanted you to have this information. Honestly, I told my mom, okay, I'll get it from you later. And I never followed up with my mom. I never followed up with whoever this attorney was that she wanted me to communicate with. But in my heart, I feel like things aligned because I found a bar review course that seemed to speak to my soul. It seemed to embrace the whole of who I am as a mother, non-traditional law student, and repeat taker of the bar exam. I signed up for it, and I sprung for the private tutoring because I knew that if I couldn't figure it out on my own, I was going to need some specialized help. The run-of-the-mill, everybody rush into the, herd cattling bar review style was not going to work for me. I needed some eyes on me specifically. So I invested. And that was probably the turning point of my bar exam journey, because the bar tutor told me directly and specifically, he said, Jenny, there's something that is blocking you and I can't help you until you get it fixed. Call me when you're done. And I was floored again. And looking back, I'm really thankful for somebody who could be that blunt and outright, because even though he didn't know how to fix it, at least he could point out to me exactly what was going on. It wasn't academic, it was a mindset issue. And to this day, I am so grateful for that. So I happened to be distracting myself with all kinds of other things that had nothing to do with the bar exam, such as relationship coaching and things of that nature. Because that's what we do, right? When we can't figure out something that's stumping us, we let ourselves get distracted into something else. So thankfully, the coach in this relationship program happened to be an all-around coach. And during one of our one-on-one sessions, she so happily volunteered her abilities to helping me pinpoint what was going on in my financial life. And no guess, no surprise, my financial life was very closely tied to me passing the bar or not. And so we spoke about that. And through a series of mindset shifts, I came to understand some of what was blocking me from passing the bar exam. And from that moment, I started to survey my life and see what needed to change in order for me to be a bar exam passer. It wasn't my study skills. It wasn't my focus or concentration specifically. It was other things, tangential things that one would say has nothing to do with the bar exam. But quite frankly, it had everything to do with me becoming a successful attorney after the bar exam. And my heart, my spirit would not let me pass this hurdle if I was uncertain that I could fill the role of being a successful attorney. So I started to firmly, kindly but firmly say no to things that didn't work for me. I even missed my sister's bridal shower because all these plans had been done irrespective of the fact that I had a test to study for. And I wasn't asking them to conform their lives to me, but I was also going to do what was good for me while they did what was good for them. I attended the wedding though. I dropped my son off to my parents and said, I will see him in 6 weeks. And I did a number of other things, took bold, decisive actions and moves to propel me in my studies. I invested even more money in getting resources that I needed for myself in order to pass. What I discovered is that my reluctance to invest was mirroring my reluctance to pass. And so I went ahead and did it. I found a way. And the way did open. I got steady full-time employment at a firm that later transformed into something beautiful after I passed the bar exam. And yes, I walked into that bar exam hall. I steadily worked through my questions and problems. I finished all but one of the bar exam sections early, and I was at complete peace while I stood in the long line waiting to sign in, while I sat through the long instructions, as I opened my booklet, as I read through all the questions. I was in complete peace. In fact, my heart was singing. It was heavenly. And it was all because of the mindset shifts that I had learned to make, and a repeatable formula that I had created in order to steadily accomplish my goals. So I accomplished the bar exam, but it didn't stop there. I was able to negotiate a beautiful salary for the job that I got, the promotion within the firm that I was already employed at. I was able to acquire for myself generous learning opportunities in my firm, and later helping other people to do the same with this repeatable, I call it a gold embodiment formula. I decided it's time. It's time for me to do more, to be more, and to bring this gift to other bar exam takers who are walking the path that I once trod. I want to share this with the world, and that's how I became a bar exam mentor.